I am Attila Sándor, a conservationist and secretary of the Szeged Fungus Association. And first, I would like to thank the organizers for the opportunity, for the invitation, and the opportunity to talk about our flagship project and also about our organization for an audience of bright young scientists. As I mentioned, I am a conservationist, but before that I was working decades in IT. I was, for example, a chief information officer of a financial services company. Then I turned to conservation. I sent an abstract about Citizens for Fungi Diversity project, but then I realized that we have plenty of time, so I extended my presentation to talk about a bit about our organizations and our new initiatives. I will start our association, then I will introduce our flagship project, Citizens for Fungi Diversity, and then at the end I would like to introduce a new initiative, Clusius Index. Szeged Fungus Association was founded in 2018, and we set the goals. The main goal is nature conservation and especially macrofungi protection. So we are not a mycological association, but a conservation NGO. We chose paths to reach these goals, and these paths are the following. We are building strong fundamentals in society for fungi conservation through information campaigns, exhibitions, public lectures, leaflets, etc., both in the physical world and also in the online world and in social media. We supporting other conservation organizations with our special knowledge and special attitude to help them include fungi in into their work, into their program. We are supporting science directly and indirectly. For example, we provide a platform for scientists to meet the community and share their knowledge, their results. It is important, we found it important to democratize access to knowledge, and not only knowledge, but scientific tools and scientific services. And we are good at cooperation. We are actively looking for friendship, allies, cooperation, which is mainly based on shared values, nature conservation and fungi protection. We are wise enough to learn from nature, and nature taught us that diversity means diverse production, resilience, and also larger capacity. And when I asked our members what to say about our association, they said, we are a modern, open, transparent, diverse and supporting organization based on volunteering work. Along those paths, we reached some goals. We have reached some goals. We have achievements. For example, field mycology course. We, in Hungary especially, we fight against a commercial approach toward fungi, toward mushrooms. So we created a field mycology course on habitat-based and conservation-oriented. I have been teaching this field mycology course since 2016, and we made it available to the Szeged University in 2018. So now it is open university-wide. Recently, 2 years ago, we extended this field mycology course with the diversity systems, the information background of diversity research and practices, and also citizen sciences. You deal with fungi, you study fungi, so you probably are from your institution's mycology department, right? It is strange that 57 years from Robert Whittaker's paper was not enough to establish mycology departments on universities. But we have one. We established the mycology department, which is an online open interactive lecture series. The title of this lecture series is Mycology Department, and there are so many great lecturers there. For example, from Zsolt, we have plenty of English language lectures on our YouTube channel. Yeah, you can say it is a local and limited access YouTube channel, and maybe you are right, but I say that we have more subscribers than the British Mycological Society's YouTube channel, and we have more views than the North American Mycological Association's YouTube channel. Yeah, thank you. We actively support research activities. For example, an Amanita research, we had an Amanita research for a scientist from the University of Wisconsin, and we have also supported a scientist with samples from Hungary to a Kunming Institute of Botany. Our flagship project is Citizens for Fungi Diversity. I will share with you the details later. We extended this project with DNA barcoding support last year. As I mentioned, democratizing access to knowledge and tools is an important path for us. So we created an open mycology library, which means in the city library, there is a separate part of the library where we donated mycological books as diverse as our membership, from cookbook to field guide and the high-end literature in mycology. So anyone can go there and have a great mycology book. We are good at cooperation. We cooperate, we work together with national parks, mycology organizations, local museums, and many different institutions and organizations. These are typically win-win situations. We add one, they add one, and the result is not 2 but 10 for the community, for the society. This is how we create values. So Today I can say that Szeged Fungus Association is the most renowned NGO in macrofungi protection nationwide and in the region. We are going to start 2 new initiatives. Fungi Exchange will be a cultural exchange program with hybrid events, in person and also online participants, where we can tell stories about our local fungi, and we will listen to your stories, how you name those fungus, how you treat those fungus, how you protect them. So I think it will be an interesting and colorful initiative. And also I will talk about the Clusius Index at the end of this talk, and the paper I distributed is also about Clusius Index. Before I turn into the Citizens for Fungi Diversity, let me start the 6th mass extinction. Mass extinction by define involves at least 75% of the species. And the last mass extinction, the 5th mass extinction, must have been a spectacular event as a huge meteorite touched the ground. But the 6th mass extinction is not spectacular. It's an ugly one, where mankind destroy habitats, pollute environment, spread invasive species, overuse natural resources, and makes global changes like climate change. So there are multiple crises: climate crisis and diversity crisis. We talk about climate crisis every day. It is part of the public talk. But I think diversity crisis is not at the same level in publicity, but as much as it is the same importance. Let's see what science does. An important thing, red listing. You know about it. Red listing is when assessing a species extinction risk. It is mainly based on occurrence data, spatial pattern, and species specific factors. It is a step-by-step process, species by species. It is good if a species is on the red list because we know the conservation status or an extinction risk of that species. Which is not good is in the bracket, those species are in danger. You can see the numbers from the IUCN report from 2022 on the picture, and you can see the today's numbers on the other side, and you can see a very small number, only 1,300 fungi species have been red listed so far. The goal was 14,500 species. So this goal was set by the IUCN to assess at the end of 2025. So in the real world, can you imagine that the stakeholders set a goal and the management only can deliver less than 10% of that goal. So there is much to do, and there is something strange behind that. I mean, motivational management, resource problems. Take a look at Hungary and see the occurrence data. And let's compare Hungary to, for example, Austria. Same population, almost the same population and almost the same area of the countries. And we can see plant and fungi occurrence data to compare. The data is from a GBIF, a global biodiversity information facility. It's a large database. Anyone can access. It is a publicly available data set. When we compare first a plant occurrence record number, we see that Austria has 3 times more occurrence record. But when we focus on fungi, it is a huge difference. These data are from 2021, before we started our project. There is 2 orders of magnitude difference between the 2 countries, between the record numbers from the 2 countries for fungi. So there is a lot to do. I was wondering, what is the motivation behind citizen science? What is the motivation of a citizen behind that? So we know the Anthropocene extinction. For example, we know from the red list, from the IUCN report, that 1/4 of the mammalian species are in danger, 1/3 of the coral reef species are in danger, and half of the amphibians are in danger. We also know from other sources, from the WWF, that in the last 50 years, the average size of populations decreased by 73%. International organization with renowned scientists work on that problem, but they couldn't even moderate the steepness of the decline curve. You know the numbers. We have 2.5 million fungi species, probably, and we know 6 or 7% of them. So it seems to be obvious that science couldn't tackle this problem, this issue alone. Need more capacity, need more volunteer, and citizens can help in this problem. So citizens take control and start their own initiative, start their own project, start collecting information. When we started this project, at the first workshop, founding workshop, we were talking about what is important for us in citizen science. Let's give a definition of citizen science. If you need a definition of citizen science, you should go to the website of European Citizen Science Association, and there is a document, 10 Principles of Citizen Science. It's a good definition for citizen science. Our definition is the following. Citizen science project is volunteering based, where citizens are participants, and they should involved in any phases of a scientific project. I mean, from the goal set to the experiment design to the conclusion. Citizen science project should have an outcome that is scientifically sound. Raw data, metadata, and outcome should be publicly available. You should control data quality because it is extremely important in a distributed type of project. A citizen science project should be beneficial for science, for society, and the participating citizen all at once. And I would like to underline again the democratized access. Okay, what is not citizen science? What is a misconception around that? Crowdsourcing is not citizen science, not meets the requirements of citizen science. When you put the tedious work only to the crowd, it is kind of rudely using that social resource, and it is not a citizen science activity. Early mycology is also not a citizen science. I know, as you also know, that there were great mycologists back then, I mean before the 20th century, who were not part of the academic sphere, teachers, engineers, etc. But citizen science is a modern phenomenon, started in the end of the 20th century, and it is based on information age technologies. Early mycologists were part of the science because of the science was more open than today. It is not a good practice to use inadequate, inappropriate, improper tools like, for example, Facebook groups. There are so many good tools like iNaturalist or Pluto F and other platforms that are designed to collect information, to collect occurrence data. It is also not a good practice, not in the definition of citizen science, closed system where data are not available, unknown owners, and also not a good practice, biased sampling. If you have a project which is taxonomy heavy, and taxonomists set the goal of the project, then it will serve the taxonomist interest, and you will not have a comprehensive picture of fungi of Europe at the end of this project. What is about our project? Special things which are different from other citizen science projects. This project is initiated by citizens. We used a different project management method. It's called the Agile method. It is an iterative, interactive, and different from the classic waterfall project management practice. We set the goal based on our values, based on conservation, based on fungi protection. This project is not about occurrence data collection. It is not enough. We build a capacity, an increasing number of volunteers, and they will collect occurrence data. We give them support, we give them open access, we democratize access, necessary tools and knowledge. We identified and targeted special social and cultural issues. For example, in Hungary, we are a mycophobic society. For example, that's a social and cultural issue we should handle somehow. Data quality is also important. We should control and increase data quality. We do that way that we give continuous support for the volunteers. We created guides for sampling, for taking a good photo. We created a sampling protocol which is easy, which is cheap, easy to follow, and it helps avoiding mislabeling and contamination. And we use barcoding, I mean DNA barcoding, as a quality control measure in that project. We have thousands of records, we have hundreds of samples, and an independent jury collected or picked 100 samples that was sent to a DNA lab, and we are looking forward to a result. I think I can tell you that our project is extremely efficient, or infinitely efficient if we calculate the efficiency the way that the result divided by the cash burned, because we don't have cash. And there is a number at the bottom of this list. It is the today's number on the GBIF. So as you remember, it was somewhere 3,000, and now we are 46,000. So it's an order of magnitude difference between two numbers. So we have publicly available occurrence data from Hungary since we started this project. This project was forged by us. It is between UNITE, the Hungarian Natural History Museum, where we deposited samples, and the biotechnology and microbiology department of the Szeged University, and many great people. And let me say a few words about this Clusius index. Have you ever wondered on a conservation document or movie and asked yourself why there is no one mention of fungi in that otherwise great document, great movie? I think we should somehow answer this question, draw attention to that problem, and raise fungi to the level of plant and animal in conservation. Clusius index is an easy to follow scientifically correct method to assess any kind of conservation content, a document, a movie, any public content. You can calculate the balance of the document between plant, fungi, and animals. Would you please take a look at this document? And if you would like to support this initiative, and you agree with this initiative, I would like to ask you that give you your support to Clusius Index, the way that we take a photo between this slide together. And thank you for your attention.